thank you so much for joining me today. I can see all the lovely comments in the chat, so thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully most of you have had a chance to see my presentation today, which is all about organisation in a small space and how to not let it hold you back when it comes to perhaps working for design teams, creating a YouTube channel, or whatever kind of crafty goals that you've got with your hobby. So yeah, I have a tiny space in my bedroom, which you will have seen from my presentation. So it is really small. And yeah, I think having a small space actually can help you be more creative. I think if you're overwhelmed with supplies and products and too much space and so many drawers that you can't find anything, that can be a challenge. So we've got our question. What's your best advice for someone just starting out with design teams or YouTube? So I think my best advice is just go for it. So with design teams, I think the best way to get spotted is to predominantly work with a company's product line. So if there's a particular brand that you really love, buy their supplies, buy their products, make projects predominantly using their supplies and share them. And then if you get spotted and invited to join their team, but get a good idea of what their terms are first so that you're not committing to something that you can't fulfill. But yeah, definitely go for it. It's a great way of growing your supplies, especially if you're a new crafter. It's a great way of getting yourself out there, getting noticed, practicing with different techniques and different styles. So yeah, definitely take those opportunities. And with YouTube, again, it was funny when I started crafting, I said to him, he was like, oh, you'll be on YouTube. And I was like, no, there's no way I will do YouTube videos. And here we are today. So I think just go for it. Have a go at filming yourself, creating a card. Try not to put too much pressure on yourself. There's lots of ways that you can edit your footage. So if something takes a bit longer, you can speed it up, cut bits out if you make a mistake and start again. So yeah, but definitely just go for those opportunities. Have a go, because you never know where it might lead you. Cindy Hunt, what is a washi tape punch that was in one of your drawers? Oh, let me dig it out. So the washi tape punch. So this was from We Are Memory Keepers. And basically you can, I don't know if you can see that. You've got different widths. So you can put your washi tape in and then it will cut perfect banners. So it's a great way, especially if you're into bullet journaling or scrapbooking and you want to add those little fantails to the ends of your washi tape. The washi tape chomper is great for that because it means you get those perfect flag tails. I'm not very good at creating those with scissors. So yeah, it's a great tool to have if you like washi tape and you want to be able to create with it easily. What's one thing you can't do without in your craft room? My glass mat. I absolutely love it. I had the Tim Holtz one, but I found it wasn't great for filming on because it was black and I crafted my window, so it wasn't great with reflections and shadows. But I recently got one from Glassboard Studio and it's magnetic and I absolutely love it. It was quite expensive to import into the UK, but I've ended up using the magnets constantly. I didn't think I would have a need for them because I have got some sticky grip mats and I've got my stamping platform with magnets to kind of hold things in place, but having a glass mat with magnets, I don't think I could live without that now in my craft space. So yeah, it's definitely yeah, a good tool to have. Inspiration. Where do I look for inspiration? I love watching other people's YouTube videos. So that is definitely where I get some inspiration from. I love to see how other crafters craft, how they put ideas together, how their projects come together. So I also love looking at Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook groups as well, particularly of brands that I really enjoy working with. I love to join their Facebook groups and get inspiration and ideas that way. And you often find that once you've found, if you've got a particular style that you like, you'll get loads of ideas then running through your mind. So you don't end up copying other designers. You do have your own style, but it's a great starting point just to get those creative juices flowing. So how did you get started crafting? I initially thought it was lockdown, but thinking back, I remember when I was really little, having some quilling papers, and I remember doing a little bit of quilling, and I remember doing some cross stitch at school, and I remember making some little handmade cards that were pretty much just pattern paper glued to a card blank. But actually, then that's probably something I didn't do for a long time. So when lockdown started, I really I needed a hobby. We've got a lot of spare time and I needed something to kind of keep my mind busy. And so I started watching YouTube videos, and I actually bought a colouring book and started colouring. And then I saw people using stamps and dies and stencils and a die cutting machine and a heat tool, which I'd never heard of before. And so my husband bought me a die cutting machine and then a heat tool, and I was just hooked ever since. So yeah, I'd say the spring of 2020 was when I really started crafting. How much time do you spend crafting? Probably too much, Jerry. I tend to craft most days of an evening. If I've only got half an hour, I'll try and just use that half an hour and make something. I find it quite relaxing. I tend to do the bulk of my crafting though at weekends, so I might have a couple of hours on a Saturday afternoon, because once I start a project, I really like to get stuck into it. I'm not very good at creating quick cards. I'm quite happy to fuss over something for a couple of hours. But yeah, so evenings, weekends, whenever I get a spare chance, I like to craft, definitely. Ooh, what scissor brand would you recommend for fine detail? I absolutely love my Cutter-Bee scissors. So if you've not used Cutter-Bee scissors before, because they've got a really fine point. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. They're really great for getting into all those fine details. So they're my go-to. They're what I recommend. I did make a few mistakes in the beginning buying different brands of scissors that I thought would be good, but yeah, fine detail scissors, Cutter-Bees, I just love them. I have tried others, but I always go back to those. So Nat is asking, where did the idea of the name come from? Well, so my surname is Murcott, and our friends call me and my husband the Meerkats. So that's where it kind of came from. And I tried to sell a few cards on Etsy, and I had a little shop and I called it Meerkat Makes by Al for Laura. And then it kind of transferred to my YouTube channel. So yeah, it's a bit of an inside joke, that one. But I think meerkats are cute, so I kind of stuck with it. I wasn't sure if it's because we're curious or inquisitive or cute, I'm not sure. How is your Ikea pegboard attached to your desk? That's a good question, Norma. So you can get attachments from Ikea that actually come with the pegboard. They're like little clamps. So they're like clamps with a little screw at the bottom. You slide it onto the desk and you screw them together, and it attaches to the pegboard. They're really, really good. So if you just have a look on Ikea's website for the pegboard, it will come up there, these clamp attachments. And I've actually attached my shelf in the same way as well. So yeah, they're really good. Are the scissors available in left-handed? I'm afraid I don't know is the answer to that one. I know that some of the crafters recommend Fiskars. They've got fine detail craft tools, and I'm sure they make some that are left-handed. But as for the Cutter-Bee, I'm not sure. The brand is actually EK Success that makes them. So if you typed in Google EK Success, then I'm sure you could find out whether they do left-handed. I'm not sure, I'm afraid. Where in your craft room would you still like to get better organisation? My dies. I currently have them in the same, well, I'll show you how I tend to store my stamps in their plastic wallets. And if I've got coordinating dies, I store them in the back. That works fine. But I also store my dies in the same kind of pockets. And they're just completely unorganized. I don't have a system at all for those. They're just all in a curver basket. So I think that's something I really would like to get organized. Maybe create some labels for the pockets and put them in theme or category order, just to make them a little bit easier. I don't actually have tons of dies, but yeah, I do. I like to have less supplies to kind of help me keep organized, but yeah, even they need organizing, don't they? So Norma is saying, I love your concept about not stockpiling. You can always buy more. Thank you, Norma. Yeah, I think there is a big tendency in the craft industry to kind of, you need every colour of everything. But I started off like that. I did buy like multicolour cardstock, but I find I don't really use a lot of it. So I'll regularly replenish like my metallic cardstocks, black, navy blue, white, all the colours that I use a lot of. But yeah, I think you really can just go out and buy something when you need it rather than hoard supplies, because I think it does just get really overwhelming then if you've got lots and lots of things that you're not using. So yeah. Joyce is asking, do you use a digital system to keep track of your supplies? No, I don't. Purely because I don't have that many. I don't feel the need to digitalize it. However, there was a great tip in the Q&A panel last night for one of the crafters photographed all their supplies and stored images on their phone in albums. So if you don't want to invest in software like Evernote, you could actually make albums on your phone, and then you click on stamps and just flick through the pictures, which I thought was a really good suggestion, especially if you've got a lot of supplies. But yeah, I don't feel the need to digitalize mine. Jennifer, with a small space, how often do you need to de-stash? When I've run out of space to put anything new, Jennifer. So if I've done a little bit of shopping and I now don't have anywhere for those supplies, it's time to go through and just see what do I not use. Particularly when you're on design teams, you do get sent a lot of supplies. I'll tend to keep them maybe for 6 months to a year, and then I'll go through them and think, right, well, I haven't used these anymore. Obviously, if I like the products and I know I'm going to use it, I'll keep it. But yeah, when I run out of space is the answer to de-stashing. But yeah, I tend to like to de-stash on eBay. I'll quite happily sell it on. You could donate it, or if you're trying to get your friends crafting, then yeah, it's a great way to hand them a stamp set and get them an ink pad and a stamp block and get them stamping with you as well. Barbara, the little storage booklet you have for your stencils, what is it and where to get? I got them off Amazon. I've got them here, and they're actually Snowpake presentation display books, and mine are A5, so they fit stencils right up to about 5 by 7 inches size. Most of my stencils are 6 by 6 and they fit perfectly in it. Sorry, this is bigger than, yeah, it's probably UK A5 is about 5.8 inches, I think. So yeah, it fits my 6 by 6 stencils anyway. But they do them in different sizes. So Snowpake presentation display booklets, they're just on Amazon. I'm sure there's lots of different brands that make something similar. But I found them the best way of storing my stencils, because you can easily flick through them. And again, you could label them or put categories or tabs on the top, so if you wanted to categorize them or organize them. But yeah, they're a great way of storing stencils, definitely. What design teams are you on? So I originally was on the Funky Fossil design team. That's what got me started, really. I absolutely loved that. I'm currently on the Rubber Dance design team, which is a company in Germany, a Colour for Life Designs, which is a US stencil company, and Wow Embossing Powder, which, yeah, make amazing embossing powders. So yeah, I've been on their team for almost 6 months now. I absolutely love that. So, and I've just joined a Colour for Life Designs. What do you do when you've lost your mojo? Look at colour groups is what I've been doing. So I know there's a system called the Colour Cube, but there's loads of different ways that you can get colour ideas. And I'll just get a group of colours together that I've seen work well together, a nice little colour palette, and then I'll try and channel a project just using those colours. And I find restricting your colour choice then can help you make a card that's going to look nice. It's all going to work together. You know, the colours are going to match, and it takes that thought process out, because I do find it a challenge putting colours together. So yeah, looking at something like that. Is there a technique you're afraid to try? Yeah, alcohol inks. I haven't given them a go. Yeah, they just terrify me. I think I'd end up making a right mess. I'm conscious that they probably would stain. I'd need gloves, and I don't like the idea of blowing something around with a straw. I know you can get those hand tubes, can't you, to blow the alcoholics around, but yeah, I haven't tried that. I think I'd make a right mess in my room. My paper kits. Do you have craft stuff under your bed? I have one box actually, yeah, and I put my 12 by 12 papers in that, and a punch and plastic wallets for like cards that I'm getting ready to sell or gift away. But yeah, that's all I've got under the bed. Just my 12 by 12 papers really. Tell us a little bit about your Summit freebie or bundle contribution. Yeah, so if you were a paid ticket holder, there's a bonus video for you, which is all about foiling without needing a foil machine. And I think that's really important because you see all these lovely foiling machines and they look amazing. And I would love one, but I don't have the space. So to get a foiled effect, knowing that you don't need a machine and that there are different ways that you can do that without taking up lots of space, I think it's really important to know. So I love using gilding flakes. I love using fab foils, toner foils, and you can use them with double-sided tape and tacky when dry medium. So yeah, definitely check it out if you paid for the ticket or you haven't yet and you'd like to upgrade to see there's loads of bonus content from all the presenters, but mine is particularly about foiling without needing a big foil machine. In your experience, would you say all gilding flakes are equal in quality, or are some more equal than others? Wow. I absolutely love indigo blue flakes because they're so big. They're not like they're not static because they're quite big flakes. I've only tried one other brand and they were a disaster, but I think it's because they were coloured flakes and maybe the colour that they use, they were very small pieces and very, very static. I can't really comment on other brands because I haven't tried them, but I'm sure that there's other brands out there that are as equal value to indigo blue, but they are the flakes that I use, but they're easy to get hold of in the UK, but I know that in other countries it's not so easy. I haven't tried Nouveau flakes, I haven't tried Cosmic Shimmer flakes, so yeah, I can't really comment on that. You'd have to give it a go. What is your favourite crafting technique? I don't know, there's so many. I love heat embossing. I do love heat embossing. I love seeing the end results. I love that there's so many different techniques that you can do with embossing powders. Is it my favourite though? Probably, yeah. I probably do pick up my heat embossing tool pretty regularly. Can you repeat the name of the stencil binder? Yeah, of course, Elizabeth. So it's Snowpake, Snopake, and it's called a presentation display book. So yeah, I hope that helps. But it's basically an office supply, really. So yeah, just if you type it in on Google, I'm sure you'll find something similar. Did you ever try an organisation solution that just didn't work? Yeah. Binders, big binders for stamp and dies just did not work for me. I had two great big A4 binders. I think they were X-Cut branded ones, but I just found they were so heavy. I'd put all my stamps in them. I'd got them all organised, but they were so heavy and it made it a real chore to flip through, find a stamp set. So I've now got them in curver baskets and that's just working great for me. I know binders work for some people and they love them, but I just found them so heavy and bulky. What technique are you excited to try? Excited to try. I really want to improve with the gel press. There's loads of different techniques I'd love to try on that. I recently saw a reel on Instagram of somebody they'd got their gel press over the top of like a magazine print and they drew on the gel press using acrylic paint pens the image, and then they did some acrylic paints over the top of it and did that pour, and you got that perfect transferred image. I'd love to try that and other image transfer techniques with the gel press. I think because it's so unpredictable, you never know what you're going to get. So whatever print you make is a one-off and that is unique. So yeah, I quite like that. Yeah. Do you listen to music when you're crafting, and what kind? Sometimes I do. I love Freya Golden, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift. But quite often I actually like to watch YouTube videos while I'm crafting. I love to just be listening to other crafters, so I might catch up on YouTube tutorials that I've missed. A few of my favourite crafters I love just listening to in the background while I'm crafting. So yeah, you kind of feel like you're crafting along with somebody then. So yeah, it depends on my mood. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's YouTube. Definitely. So what do you do with the cards that you make? Hoard them until I feel that I can give them away. So I do have a big box full of cards that I've made. If friends come around, they're welcome to go through it and take what they want. Sometimes I'll bundle them up and gift them away. But yeah, I have a few cards that I've made that I just can't part with yet. So eventually they'll go to a new home, but I don't bin them. I make sure that I gift them, keep them, or yeah, people can, when they come and visit, they can have a little flick through and take the cards. What are your favourite cards to make? Oh, I really like, I tend to overcomplicate things when I craft. And so when I've got a nice paper pad and some ephemera and I can just make a batch of cards without much thought process and they come out clean and simple, but they look really pretty, I actually really enjoy that. I love challenging myself to use my scraps as well. So turning them into like strips of paper and then making paper weaved cards or using them for die cutting different patterns. That take a little bit of the thought process out of it because I do tend to overthink. So yeah, if I'm in the mood for just some easy crafting, I love to make cards with papers and ephemera. And yeah. Do you prefer warm or cool colours? Probably a mix. I lean towards teals and pinks, which is a mix, isn't it? So yeah, I do tend to, I'm not very good with like bold primary colours, so I don't tend to be drawn to red, orange, green, but I love teals, turquoise and pinks, definitely. And in fact, my bead storage is a nice pink bloom flower that I keep on my desk, so yeah. Do you have an ink company you like best? Oh, Renee, I need ideas for this myself, to be honest. I'm trialing out some Gina K Designs inks at the moment, some of her dye ink pads, and I'm really enjoying using them. I kind of feel like it's not a fair comparison because I hear a lot of people talking about Catherine Paula inks, so maybe I want to try those. I love my distress oxides. I don't feel the need for every colour, and I'm a big believer in mixing your inks. So if you have a couple of inks that are distress and a couple of inks that are, say, Gina K or another brand, and don't feel you can't mix them, I do mix my brands, and I mix pigments with oxides and dye inks. So yeah, they can all be used together, but favourite brand, I'm still working on that. Do you have a craft cart and how do you use it? No, I don't have a craft cart actually. When I started crafting, I did. I had a little trolley that I got from Hobbycraft in the UK, and it just didn't work for me. I think on carpet, I was just struggling, and it was again, it was so full, it got too heavy, and it just didn't really wheel around. So yeah, I moved away from that pretty quickly. But I think if you've got laminate flooring or wooden flooring, it's probably a great way of, moving your supplies around in your craft area. Definitely. Oh, Monica, you like Gina K inks and Catherine Paula as well. Yeah, I need to try the Catherine Paula inks, I think. I did try some dye inks from Stamps by Me. Again, that's a UK company, but I believe it's on HSN as well. And I kind of imagine Catherine Paula might be similar because they are foam pads, so they're a lot spongier than the Gina K inks. But yeah, I'm just still experimenting with inks. I tend to not stamp in colour, so I'm working on that. I've been trying to do a bit more stamping using my coloured inks. Favourite spot in your craft room? Wow, I only have one spot and that's at my desk. But yeah, I actually like to stand when I'm crafting. I find sitting down, I end up getting shoulder pain. So I love to stand. My desk is a rise and recline desk. So I love to stand at the window crafting, and especially in the morning we get the full sun. So it's really nice to be in the full sun and craft away. Not so great for filming, but definitely nice for crafting. So yeah, lovely. Oh, yeah. So any final questions, let me know. But thank you all so much for joining me. I was really worried about being on my own. So it's lovely to have you all with me. Thank you so much for watching my presentation as well. I really, really appreciate that. And I hope it's given you, I hope you're learning from all the speakers on the summit. There's so many presentations that are really, really, really good. Great ideas. So yeah, I've still got to catch up on a few. So yeah, thank you all so much. I hope that's helped, a little bit of a Q&A with me. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the summit. Thank you so much. Take care.